Welcome back to Matchday Live for our final home game of the season, a historic season which has seen us move into our world-class home. Now today we're facing Sunderland, hoping to maybe close down on those European spots, but of course the focus will be on Seamus Coleman, an absolute legend. And today with me is someone who knows him very well, is Tony Hibbert. Welcome Tony, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Now, before we get into talking about Seamus Coleman, because I've got many things to ask you personally, but also I'm sure you want to speak about him as well. We'll go through the team because it is an unchanged team, but just to remind everyone at home, so we've got Pickford, O'Brien, Tarkowski, Keane and Mikolenko, Irabunum, James Garner, Roll, Dewsbury Hall, Njai and Beto. But of course, on the bench, the big story is Seamus Coleman. Yeah. I mean, where to even start with Seamus? But if we do start, when you first met him, could you have imagined for him to turn into what he's turned into?
Yeah, I can. Seamus just had a way about him. He was obviously a quiet, he was a young lad when he come over from Ireland. He just had a way about him that you see. Obviously, football is it's hard sometimes because you see a lot of people come and go, and a lot of young people, and there's all different walks of life, obviously different people, and Seamus just had a bit about him in a way of he was just down to earth. He was just a nice lad in a way of football ability. Obviously you couldn't question that, he's unbelievable ability football wise, but just in a way of enjoyable, nice kid to be around, quiet obviously, which obviously quite young people are when they come over, and it's obviously brand new to them, but yeah, to see him develop and grow as he has, it's a credit to him, and obviously a credit to the club as well, because obviously they've stuck by him, they've shown him how Everton is, and he's bought into that.
Such a unique journey into football as well. You don't see that very often, and I don't think we'll see it much moving forward as well. How did he take that in his stride in terms of coming into the Premier League, having not the same background in football that so many other people do, coming through academies in the same way?
Just like he's done it, just like he's come through the Everton Academy, and he's been around professional footballers and seasoned professionals. It was nothing to him. That's just his character, that's just Seamus. Nothing seems to bother him in that way. Not in an arrogant way, but in a way of, it's just like whatever's put in front of him, he'll try and do it. And it showed in training, it showed in games. It's just took him in a way of a development and into a stage where you could see he was just learning every single day. He was happy to be where he was. And just to go into a man that he is now, which obviously out of football, that's all everyone will talk about. They'll talk to him in a high level of a way of respect and the qualities he has of away from football. It just shows volume really for him and his family back home.
And with that, what is it that makes him so special? Everyone talks about how special he is, but what do you think it is that makes him so special?
I wish I knew. He's just one of them likeable lads, like what he gives you as well. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, people will give you your time and obviously you respect, and they will do things for you, which is obviously you won't think of. He's nice to be around, he's funny. It's just a whole package of him which really you like and you buy into Seamus. He'll tell you in a way of what he's feeling, he's not afraid in that way. It's just everything about him, to be honest. Obviously we can big him up as much as we want, but at the end of the day, obviously it's probably got to give a credit to his family as well, the way they've brought him up. He's coming from Ireland, it's not easy coming from Ireland to come over here. He obviously went on loan, that's not easy. And he's just took it to, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not bothered him, he's took it in his stride, and obviously he's built from that and obviously got to where the stage where he is. But it's credit to him and most importantly his family back home.
And we talk a lot in these sort of later years of his career about what he's done off the pitch and you know, the character that he is. But I mean, we saw some of the highlights there. On the pitch, he was phenomenal, wasn't he?
Yeah, obviously his ability on the pitch, his ability playing wise, you couldn't question. He's up there with the best. The club has really, I would say. But it also helps him, the character. Obviously people see that. But playing wise, football wise, you can't question him. Seamus Coleman, he's give everything for everything. As soon as you bust that shirt on, you know, no matter what, he will give 100%. That's, I always go on about the minimum what you do to Everton, but he's shown that in abundance. He's done that and has obviously gone sky high with it. But football wise, yeah, you couldn't question, he's up there with the best.
Because it was at a time when that sort of modern fullback wasn't it wasn't as popular as we see now. Now it's expected of players to, you know, get the assists and get the goals. But back then it wasn't as much. When you saw him and Bain sort of adding this new dimension to their role and seeing it here at Everton, it was really special, wasn't it?
It is. It's refreshing because it's obviously like you just said, it was just coming in then that obviously the full-backs getting forward as much as they can and be in positions where I would look and think I would want to be in that position. But no, it's the way, it's modern football, you're right. And he's just took it to, obviously you've seen games where he's playing for, you know, over in Ireland. So he was that type of player from day one. It's obviously that generation, it's that mentality what he wants to get forward. Obviously it's good for us with freedom and we've had him. So yeah, it's good, it's modern football, as you said.
A lot of players now talk about, especially in those last few years when we were really struggling, what a character he was in the dressing rooms, how much he just sort of galvanised the team, the loud voice that he was. For you, when you were playing with him, did you sort of see him start to find that voice a bit more? Because I can imagine he wasn't the biggest character in the room when he first comes in.
No, obviously, like I said, he's a quite young lad. He's just finding his steps with us in the first team. He wasn't the captain material what I thought he would be here. But obviously he's bypassed that. He is probably one of the best captains anyone will think of here. The way he's pulled the club through difficult times, the times where we had, obviously you're looking out for someone, you want someone to pull us through. He stood up, he's been counted. You need them in your squad all day. I would have Seamus in any team. I think he'd walk into any more or less Premiership team really, and that's obviously credit to him. But when he was with me, he was still learning, he was still a young lad, but obviously what a captain he's come for this club.
And for us fans here today, what's it going to mean to see him walk out one last time in that shirt? It'll
be sad, it is. It's one of them where obviously this day and age players come and go. That's how it is now. Obviously he's 17 years playing for us. You'll get players playing a year or two, do you know what I mean, and going. So it is a conveyor belt in that way. But to put a shift in and a servant, what he has been for us in them years, and he showed the passion, he showed what it means, the fans will love it. They'll clap him off, they'll sing the songs. It's magical, but obviously it happens to everyone. This is how it is, this is football. You've got to get on with it, you've got to move on. We've got to find the next Seamus now.
Yeah, well, hopefully. Well, we've just heard from Seamus's former teammate, but we can now hear from Andy and you guys as well that have been here in the 3 words that describe Seamus Coleman.
In January 2009, over 17 years ago, Seamus Coleman signed for Everton Football Club, and if he makes an appearance today in his last home game for the club, he'll move to 434 appearances for Everton, above Dixie Dean and Leon Osman in the all-time appearances list. Messages have already flooded in across social media with outpourings of love for Seamus, but I wanted to find out in person at the stadium today what he really means to the Everton fans. I want you to give me 3 words that describe Seamus Coleman to you as an Everton fan.
I'd have to say loyal, Everton and leader.
Amazing.
Nice.
Passionate.
Yeah.
And mental.
I love it.
Consistent. Good leader.
Consistent, good leader.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Commitment, loyalty and determination.
Absolute club legend.
Perfect.
Club legend, I think, is the perfect summary. Yeah. Now, for the game today, obviously, hopefully we will see him get on, but unchanged team. What are your thoughts on that starting 11?
Yeah, I think we probably was going to be a more or less same team as last game. I think they've done well. I think obviously you would want more from them for where we are in position now and come to the end of the season. You just want a bit more. You want us to obviously not like fade out. Obviously the end of the season you want us to kick on to try and get the European spots, push up, because now obviously league table there's clubs all round us what can take over us. It's quite close again. But yeah, no, it's the same team. So I think obviously today is a big game for us again. I think the lads who's brought out will do a job. I think we'll be happy with that.
What's going to be the focus today? Because we sort of look back at previous games and annoyingly letting some last minute goals, you know, be conceded. What do you think is going to be the priority for this team today to make sure we don't see that happen?
I think starting quick. I think we're at home. We've got to start quick again. We've got to put them on the back foot. We've got to let the fans know we're up for it. Let them, the away team, know that we're up for it. We're not going to fade away. We're not going to be easy, more or less touch. We've got to start well. I think if we start well, we start putting the pressure on. we'll have enough. We've got enough players there who are quality. So I think starting well for the first 5-10 minutes. I think, obviously, we always say, like, being hard to beat, but we've got to be open. We're here at home. We've got to show. We've got to go forward as quick as we can. So starting quick and getting forward as quickly as possible, I think that's the way forward for us.
You mentioned quality, and in that game against Crystal Palace, Beto pulled out a bit of very special quality. What form is he in at the moment? It's great to see from number 9. Yeah,
obviously, I know he's scoring the goals. He's come, obviously, in a way of confidence-wise. You can see him. He's working hard off the ball. I think that's, to be honest, I think that's what's keeping him ahead of Barry. Do you know what I mean? I think obviously the manager's seen it. He is scoring goals, yeah, but yeah, his work rate off it, he's more or less making the 2 defenders work now as well, instead of obviously just 1. So I think that's obviously making him the starting position for us, and our big number 9, and obviously the manager's having confidence with him.
As a defender, what goes into that from a striker of making 2 defenders work rather than 1? Is it his runs? Is it his overall
It's his
IQ?
movement. Yeah, it is. Obviously, it is obviously his work rate is up there. We can see that. We can all acknowledge that. It's just bouncing from the 2 centre-halves instead of staying on 1 and making it a lot more easier, because as the 2 centre-halves you can cover each other, so it becomes easy. But he's making the 2 centre-half, maybe standing in the middle of them, maybe when the ball's up in the air, he's still challenging both centre-halves. He's not one-sided. So there's a lot of combination, but you can see that in his gameplay. You know he's working a lot more hard. And obviously, even when he's been here, the fans have clapped him off because they're recognising it. So it's good that he's come into this confidence, this new way of playing, and obviously getting the goals for us as well.
Another player who's come into a bit of form is Merlin Roll. 3 starts now. Maybe not in the position we'd expect him to play, but we can see what, in his attributes, particularly his pace, what he can bring to that right-hand side. It
was surprising, to be honest, his pace. It come out of nowhere. Yeah, I think he's had injuries, so you've got to give him time. Obviously, adapting to where we are here in the Premier League, adapting to the surroundings, adapting injuries, it doesn't help, but obviously having the start he's had now, we're seeing the minutes under him, we're seeing what we can get from him, and obviously his pace, I was shocked. It was like, wow, that's a good bonus for us, that's really good, but obviously he's not playing in probably his position he would prefer and what we want him to be in, but he's getting minutes, he's showing his quality, which is good for us really, and no matter how you look at it.
And also with Timur Abunam and James Garner in central midfield, with Idrissa Gana Gueye out at the moment, it's been nice to see them come into their own a little bit and feel like we're not missing Idrissa in sometimes the way we often do when he's not playing. Well,
that's the squad we need. We need players to come in. We need players to make more or less the big decisions in a way, making the manager's easiest choice. So them coming in around, I think, is good to have. It's a healthy squad. You need quality players right the way through now. The way the games we play and how many games are involved, a squad is ideal. You need a good, healthy squad.
Okay, well, there are a lot of talking points for the last home game of the season. A new stadium, possibly European spots, and of course Seamus Coleman. David Moyes has this to say about all of those points now.
It is the final home game, and it's been a historic season moving into a new stadium. How do you feel it's gone with the move and the stadium itself? Are there anything that you particularly like about it or would change?
I think it's gone probably as well as we could expect. I think that we started quite well, even though we hadn't got a chance to play in the stadium that often. We did friendly, but we hadn't had much time on the stadium because we were everything was still getting finished off, etc. But since we've been there, we've enjoyed it. I think there's still probably teething problems that supporters might tell me about outside the stadium or getting to the ground. But overall, I think inside it we've quite enjoyed it, and look, we've done okay there. We've done really well away from home this season, and we've done okay at home. We'd like it to be better, but hopefully time will make that better.
It was touched on before about officials making errors and then panels re-looking at it. I know the CEO spoke about it and tried to get some clarity, and you've been asked about it. Can you see in the summer maybe something bigger with every club getting involved? Because it's not just Everton, is it, that's now impacted by some of these decisions that they found different?
Look, the first thing I was going to say, Julie, I'm not really that bothered about the other clubs, to tell you the truth. But I am bothered because I think if the decisions were getting wrong, then it would be badly done. But the impact on us has been big, and I think that they don't particularly like coming out and admitting they were wrong and they've got it wrong. So at least they've owned up to what they was right. So I think when you get that, you accept it. You say, okay, we all can make mistakes, and if they're accepting that they've made mistakes, then we move on and we try and win the last 2 games.
Does there have to be a change though, the way it's operated?
I think everybody's sort of pretty disappointed with lots of things that have gone on this year. So yeah, I think they're probably going to have to do something.
Just to return to 2 subjects in one question, you're obviously losing a vast amount of experience with Seamus in the dressing room. Idrissa, I believe, you have a 1-year option to extend his contract at the end of the season. Does that play into your thinking because you're losing that much experience with Seamus to have someone experienced?
Well, losing Seamus is a big blow, as we've said. We'll see how we'll talk about Ghana probably in the coming weeks, and that we're on with quite a lot of business behind the scenes. We're trying to be a club which does our stuff quietly. We don't want to be shouting about it. We don't need to talk about it in the media until it's done. So we're trying to go about our business a bit quieter.
Okay, quite a lot of talking points there to get through. But let's start with his assessment on how we've settled in to Hill Dickinson Stadium. What do you make of it?
I think it's good. I think it's really good, the position we're in. Obviously, with these games coming, we could be in Europe. It's a massive, more or less, year for us coming to a new stadium. It's an unbelievable stadium. I don't think anyone will have a bad word about it. But league position and squad, what we have, I think it's been a good season for us.
And for you, you've experienced the atmosphere both in here and out there as a fan as well. What have been some of your best memories from this season in terms of being able to see this stadium come to light? I
think obviously the first game here, I think the atmosphere and to be in the stand and with the fans, that was special. The first home game. Then obviously we were doing well, and obviously then not so well at home here. We were doing better away. But then obviously the Chelsea game, then obviously the City game recently, it's more or less fighting again. It's more or less igniting the passion the way it all been. Obviously Tifu with all the fans and all the banners and the flags, that helps massively. It's just a good feeling being here, and like I said before, the first season being here, I think it's a success. I think it's been really good for us.
And I mean, going from such a historic stadium and such a legendary stadium that you can't really compare to, moving into somewhere like this, that can be a difficult move. But how do you think the fans and the club have adapted to it?
I think it's always going to be hard, obviously. It is hard for the fans. Obviously, there's generations and generations who've been at Goodison, growing up to people who sitting next to them, who were their friends and family members. It was massive. Goodison was a massive part of Everton, massive part of Everton. The feeling of moving to a new stadium is nice, but reality hits when you do come here and then you're not sitting next to your regulars, you're not sitting next to your people. That's going to take time. It's a brand new experience for people. The stadium is unbelievable. Like I said before, no one will have a bad word about it, but it's just a feeling. People still recognise Goodison, people still want the Goodison feeling. That will come, that's here. The noise levels, what I've witnessed here, is probably better than Goodison. It is, it's unbelievable, it can be. It just needs to be consistent and people to feel more at home. That will take time. The players have settled in. You don't need enough any more time. The players know what it is here. So players-wise, fans is just in a way of just time and settling, because the big games will come and the cups will come here again.
On a slightly more negative note, talking of David Moyes' talking points there, and particularly recent refereeing decisions, 2 have gone against us that VAR have come out and apologised for. So the handball at West Ham and also the Bernardo Silva pull on Merlin Roll here. What do you make of these decisions and the fact that we're constantly talking about them? And it's very different to when you were playing as well, isn't it?
I just don't know, to be honest. I think the VAR, obviously, it's coming to help. It's not helping because, in my opinion, it's taking the pressure, it's taking the ref out of it. They'll go to VAR and then they'll send them to the screen. So I don't know where or what, who's making a decision in that. And obviously, 9 out of 10, the fans who are seeing it will know the decision straight away. They know about it, and then they'll still get it wrong. It's just the rules and the regulations from it is so big. It's so the gap is just so wide. So it's hard to really get, that's offside, or that's a handball. it's not. There's so much what is a mess. I think the people are scared. They are, and then obviously the ref are scared to make a decision on their own judgments, just in case they get pulled up, because obviously the game's massive now. The social media and the news is all over, there's cameras all over, and it's, yeah, in a way a negative, but yeah, it's not helping. Obviously we should use it to help us, whereas it's not. It's still mistakes, it's still getting people like more or less called out, the ref or VAR getting called out, and they're all right saying putting a hand up. They've got that much technology, they shouldn't be making a mistake. But if it was me, I'll get rid of it all day, I'll get rid of it, but we're in this day and age now.
And it's a difficult one because those two decisions, but there were also some that went for Bournemouth and Brentford, which obviously in the European run-in does make a difference. But how much can we look at those decisions compared to looking at ourselves and say how we've performed in the last few games? Because it's a balance, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously it is. And don't get me wrong, yeah, it's easy now sitting here and saying it after I've watched it 3 or 4 times on slow motion. So it is easy to say they're getting it wrong and it's wrong. Obviously, yeah, going in my area was obviously ref. Obviously, you just moan at the ref, really. You just have an argument with him. But then you've got to get on with it. It's moved on within a couple of seconds, a minute, and you're carrying on again. So, you know, it does, yeah, it probably does work in roundabouts, but it's, you've got to look at us. Obviously, we've got to not put us in them situations. Obviously, we've had goals against us, which we should have defended better. Yeah. So you've got to look at us that way, in a way of games what we've lost or conceded goals what we shouldn't have. So it works both ways, I think, in a way defensively, and I'll take more or less the players need to obviously be hard to beat a bit more.
Yeah, and talking of that, I mean, today, hopefully we've still got that spirit in us, because it is still possible, and also you just want to finish as high up the table as you possibly can.
We've got to. I think we've got to. Obviously, looking at the table before, obviously there's teams that can leapfrog us. So we want to finish the season strong. I know, obviously, as a player, you know the season's coming to end. You don't want to go through the motions. You need the likes of like Seamus. You need him to get the lads up for it. You need to make him, let the lads know, understand we are going for Europe. We can't just filter out here and make it a day of for him, or because at the end of the season this is our final home game. It's not. It's still the league positions we want to go for. So yeah, it's in a way of we need to push. These 2 games are massive for us. We need to get as maximum points as we can.
Okay, well, Hill Dickinson is more than just a football stadium. Today on the Budweiser Plaza, there's a lot going on, including some free haircuts from official partner Barber Boss. Let's see if Andy took full advantage of it.
I'm out on the Budweiser Plaza where there is all sorts going on, as always, and we're at Barber Boss today, who have got so much going on with their activation. We've got football freestylers, we've got games to play. They are donating money to Everton in the community for every follower that they get on Instagram, and they are giving out free haircuts. Let's go take a look at Everton's men's grooming tech partner.
You look rather scared there, mate. It's all right.
I'm worried for my watch.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't collect them, so you're okay.
Oh, my hair.
Oh yeah, sorry, I made that disappear before. A bit like myself.
Can you fix it? Can you make this appear as a better hairline?
I'd love to do myself.
We are here at the tent. If you're watching on the show, up until kickoff, every follower that they get on Instagram will be £1 donated to Everton in the community. So I want every single one of you who is watching the show right now to go onto Barber Boss's Instagram, drop them a follow, and raise some money for an absolutely amazing charity that is Everton in the community. Back to you in the studio.
Bit disappointed he didn't get one himself there. That's the content we wanted to see, wasn't it?
Yeah, people getting haircuts at the stadium.
It's all changed since your day, hasn't it?
Massively, yeah.
And back to the game today then. What are you hoping to see from this team?
3 points. I don't care how we play or what goes on, we need 3 points. I would like to see us keeping a position. I've said from day one, with us, a top 10 finish, I think, is really good for us. If you drop out of the top 10, I would really consider that not the best in the way of positioning. I would like to see you stay up there. We could get into 8, obviously in Europe, and obviously see them, but yeah, I think, don't care, 3 points today.
It's such a weird season, isn't it? That even now, 2 games left of the season, you could finish 7th. Crazy, and you could finish 12th. I mean, it's just, how does that affect the players, do you think, going into it, knowing that they've still got a lot to play for, but also that it's not just over and done with?
Well, it should be, in a way. We want to go and get up as high as the table as possible. Obviously, for the club aspect of it, that's a lot more money position-wise. We get into Europe, see a lot more money from then. As a club, that is massive. getting the highest position as you can. That's priority. The players, not in a way of concentrating on in a way of seeing the club get the money. It's in a way of your own standard. You're playing for a club. You want to be high up in the table as possible. That should be just normal. So to be there and knowing you can get, like you said, 7th, 6th up there pushing for them, I think it's a good incentive really to go out and play. Not an end of season game. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see people more or less on holiday already. I want them obviously to put a show on. I want us to get something here, and that's what I was saying. 3 points is more or less we should be getting. We need that today.
And of course, European spots is where we want to be. That is the standard that we want to set. But like you said, beginning of the season, we were talking about a top 10 finish of being something to really aim for. So what do you make of our season in that sense, and how we sort of, yes, maybe a bit disappointed to not be 7th or 8th when we were there for quite a while, but when you look at the trajectory of the season, it's been one we can maybe be proud of?
I'm not definitely proud of. Like we're saying, if the season finished now, I'll be happy. I'll be comfortable with us. I'll say we've had a good season. But obviously, we know we can get into Europe. We know we can get higher in the table. That's always going to be in a way of Evertonians and us wanting to get as high as possible. That's just normal. In the position where we are, we can do. But we're also looking over our shoulders as well. There's other teams who can leapfrog us. So we don't want to be 13th. I don't know if you're going to 40th. I don't know. But you don't want to be going down. You want to be going up. We want it to be above 10. I think in a way of mentality-wise, club-wise, where we should be, I think above 10.
What do you think David Moyes' assessment will be of that? Because he was quite coy on not talking about Europe spots too much, and then towards the end he started to speak about it a little bit more. What do you think he would be making of this?
I think he's playing it down a bit. I think in a way of to get into Europe is massive for us. I think for him as well, personally, for what he's come in and done in the short space of time is huge. I think he's playing it down a bit. He was obviously speaking about it when we were in 7th and 8th, when we were a few months back. But I think now he might want to take the pressure off the players and the club, more or less pushing us to get there. But we still can get there. So I think he's more or less just playing it down. But I think inside he'd be getting the players, he'd be telling them, listen, in the dressing room, we're pushing, we're still going for them. That's what he's like in general, but I think the incentive is to get as high as possible. He will be telling the players, we need to win these games.
And we've seen interviews from people like Dewsbury Hall who've talked a lot about it and been really disappointed in the manner in which we've conceded goals. But it's great to see our players come forward and say that as well, isn't it? For them to have the ambition.
It is. It's nice to see. Obviously, the players will understand more or less they've conceded some sloppy goals. It's good that they're coming out and they're not afraid to say it. They're understanding it. They will say it was their fault. They will be blaming people in the way of we should be doing better. That's good. That's a healthy squad. You want that happen because you know, obviously behind the scenes, you know in the dressing room, if they're coming out and saying that to the press and people, they'd be 10 times worse in the changing room. So I'm happy that I'm hearing them. I'm happy that I know they've got some characters in there that they're not afraid to put their hand up and say, yeah, we've messed up. We should be more harder to beat.
And with the squad, we had that sort of period around January and December where it was a little bit tricky in terms of injuries and AFCON. But as a whole, what have you made of the squad in terms of building to the next season? It feels like we've got quite a solid base now. Yeah,
you'd say that, but if we get into Europe, I think you need to obviously add a lot more people to it. Obviously, the manager knows, he knows where we are. Europe is massive, the X and more games. Mentality as well is hard, so you do need to spend the money. I'm in that way of concern in a way. If we do get into Europe, we do need to spend. We do. Is the club ready for that? I don't know. I don't know what money we've got or who we're looking at. I don't know. But if we do get into Europe, we do need to spend and get the reinforcements in. But squad-wise, as we are, obviously 10th, I think that's brilliant. The squad we're building is unbelievable. I think the people we have, the ability what we have in the squad is really good. And I think obviously getting to next year, even if we don't get into Europe, we're still strong. We are strong as squad-wise, and more or less starting 11, I will put us up against majority of the teams in the Premiership. So I'm happy with that, the way the health of the squad is.
And the fact that now that is what our standard is, that we're looking at next season, and even if we don't get Europe, now we're saying, well, why aren't we? That's exactly. Already the standards that we've pushed.
Yeah.
That's what Moyes wanted to do when he came in, wasn't it?
Definitely, and he's done that. Obviously, we can see the Europe, we can see it, we're hovering around there. It's up to us to push to get into them positions. But yeah, even thinking and talking about it is massive. That's what I'm saying. Massive for David Moyes, massive for the club, but I think more from him coming in to stabilise the club, the way he's moving to a new stadium, just the whole scenario in a short space of time and what he's got us where we are is massive for him, massive.
Yeah. And talking of European nights, I mean, when you look at a stadium like this, that's what this is for, isn't it? To push on to that next level.
It is. Obviously, yeah, the stadium is unbelievable and it'd be great to see, but Everton Football Club, we should be in Europe, we should be in the final stages of the cups in England. So it's just a matter of we should be. It's not in a way just because of we've got a brand new stadium, a lovely stadium. We should be in Europe. We should be fighting for the cups. We should be fighting for the league. We should be up there. Hopefully, them times are coming.
And mentioning the cups, unfortunately, not some great memories here against this team. Went out on penalty shootout, of course, but this is a team that we can easily beat, can't we? If we play the way that we expect us to play, this team is here for the taking. Yeah,
definitely. I think being at home as well. I think obviously in the cup game we showed a glimpse of what we can do. We should have went through. We should have played better. But here in the league, we've got the quality. I think they've sort of plateaued a little bit. I knew that obviously they would some stage in the league, but they've still got quality, still dangerous. But yeah, I think we've got more quality, more ability all over the park, I think. And obviously today in the league, I think we need to grab this. We need to grab this opportunity.
And Sunderland as well, they're a great reminder of how difficult this league has been this season, because if we were in the positions that we were in the last few seasons in this season, where teams like Sunderland and Leeds have really improved coming up, you know, we've seen so many teams come up, go straight back down, and Sunderland are the exception of that and have done brilliantly.
Unbelievable, yeah.
It's a sign of how competitive this league is at the moment.
It's a hard league, it is. Obviously people, the teams what come up, the people who are playing there, it is a hard, tough league. The amount of games you're playing, obviously even the higher teams are playing in Europe, so there's a lot of demand. But now, it's not in a way of, it's only Sunderland, it's only Fulham. They're all competitive now. They're really strong team. The league, obviously we've seen over this season, it's literally so compact. There's so many teams, obviously what can leapfrog in and another. The points is crazy, so close. So yeah, it's not an easy pushover, but we need to establish where Everton, where we should be fighting above there now. So we need to obviously understand this is where the club needs to go. We need to push on from these, and obviously these are the games like this what we need to win.
And that anyone can beat anyone goes both ways though, doesn't it? Because yes, we can be looking over our shoulder and can, you know, easily lose points to teams below us, but then you see us against Man City and how easily we could have won that if we just held on. But it's a sign for the future, and that we can go up against any team that's put in front of us.
It is, and at the Premier League, you've got to go up against the top teams. You've got to play, obviously, the teams who are at the bottom, but yet them teams at the bottom are still dangerous. So it is all over the Premier League is just dangerous and hard. That's the same. It's changed in a way of playing styles. Now Sunderland have come up, they've spent a lot of money, and they were flying in the league. They were flying, and they're still a good, solid team. It's obviously now that we're getting our feet, we're in that, like we say, 10th. It's a good position, but we're pushing, and this is what we need to understand. We need to be beating these teams. City, we had the chance to beat them here. Obviously, it didn't happen, but yeah, we're showing desire, we're showing the capabilities. We've got to put it against more or less, not so much lesser teams, but teams now what are around us. What we're at home, we should be beating these. We should be beating them no matter what.
Do you think that's more of the aim for next season? Obviously we had brilliant away form this season, but to really make this a bit more of a fortress in terms of saying people will be scared to come here.
That's exactly, they've got to be scared to come here, but obviously our home performances have got to show that. They've got to make teams scared of us. At the start of the season, I think we started really well here. Towards the end and the middle, we sort of dropped off, and our away performance was better. I think that's because obviously we're going away, and we're sitting back a lot more, whereas once you're at home, you've got to go. You've got to break the teams down. They're not sitting back. You've got to really go for them, and that sort of is, it was a quite mix up in a way of how should we handle it. But obviously they've got an emotion now, they've got to understand, and what it means to play at home. We've got to change the mentality. We've got to, obviously, no matter what, we will not take defeat. We've got to build what we did at Goodison. Like you said, the mentality of it's horrible here. They don't, away fans and away teams do not want to come here because they know what type of game it's going to be.
Yeah, well, we can see both teams in the tunnel now. So in terms of this game in particular, what do you hope we improve on from maybe that Palace game, that City game, that we can bring to this game?
It's not conceding sloppy goals, defending better. Obviously staying in the game is a big one, but obviously we're at home, so we've got to be a bit more expansive. We've got to be a bit more open. We're just, in a way, defending from that has got to be a bit more solid. I think with the players, if we do go forward, we've got the capabilities of beating more or less anyone, I would say, here. But defensively wise, as a unit and as a team, when we're open, a bit more stronger.
Okay, well, for the last time at home, we can throw to Ian Snowden and Dan Griffiths on commentary.
And a very warm welcome to Hill Dickinson Stadium for the last time this season. Everton against Sunderland. Time to perfection as the players walk out onto the pitch, and as is the tradition, there's probably going to be more mascots than players this afternoon here at the stadium. But it's quite nice, Nods, to have a game where there's, okay, we want to get into Europe, but there's no panic, is there?
No,
there's
it's great, isn't it, to relax, to come here, sunny day, full house. We do want to win the game. It's as simple as that. Every time Everton play a game, you want the team to win, but it's great just to not have any pressure on the last couple of games.
He's got to come on at some point, hasn't he? He's got to come on at some point.
He's got to. Seamus, the legend, Coleman. And he is. Do you know what, Daz? They mentioned some players as legends, and there is some Everton players as legends, but he's right amongst them, mate, for me.
When you consider where he came from to where he is, Snod, £60,000 from a League of Ireland team, Sligo Rovers, nobody had heard of him. People are saying 60 grand, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If he comes on today, he's in the top 10 all time, statistically, performance-wise.